Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on something you can't see, but that shapes every single company from the inside out. We're talking about corporate culture.
So let's just jump right in with a big question. Think about it. Beyond the products, the profits, the big shot strategies, what's that one invisible force that can either launch a company into the stratosphere or, well, run it right into the ground? You guessed it, it's the corporate culture. The absolute best way to think about it is like a company's personality. It's the unwritten rule book, right? It's the shared vibe, the values, the beliefs, the behaviors that really dictate how things actually get done day to day. And just like people, no two company cultures are exactly the same. Not even close. They're all shaped by a unique mix of things. The industry they're in, the leaders at the top, the company's whole history. It's basically a one-of-a-kind fingerprint for every single organization. Okay, so if culture is that important, what is it actually made of? What are the real building blocks you need to create a workplace that doesn't just exist, but actually thrives?
Well, it all kicks off with core values. And look, I'm not talking about some cheesy, feel-good words you slap on a poster in the break room. These have to be the company's true north, that compass that guides every single decision, from the C-suite all the way down to the front lines.
But, values are just the starting point. A great culture really comes alive in the stuff people experience every single day. We're talking about communication that's open and honest, not filtered through 10 layers of management. It's about building a place where everyone feels like they belong and their voice matters. And, of course, it's about the tangible things, like actually recognizing people for great work, trusting them to do their jobs, and remembering that they have a life outside of work.
And here's the bottom line. When your employees feel a genuine connection to those values, something powerful happens. Engagement just skyrockets, people become more productive, and their commitment to the company goes way, way up. That's how you lower turnover and build a seriously strong business.
Want a perfect example of this in action? Let's talk about 3M. Their culture was all about experimentation and giving employees time to work on their own passion projects. And what came out of that? The Post-it note. That is innovation literally born from culture.
But listen, a culture like 3M's doesn't just pop up out of nowhere. It's built, intentionally, brick by brick. You have to start by defining your values, your North Star. Then, you gotta be brutally honest about where you are right now. Only then can you make a real plan, get your leaders on board, and weave that culture into every single part of the business, all while constantly checking in and tweaking things.
All right, let's pull the camera back a bit. If culture is the blueprint for one company, what happens when we look at how those blueprints change all across the globe?
One of the biggest, and I mean biggest differences you'll see is how people even think about doing business. In a lot of Western cultures, it's all about the transaction, right? The deal. But in many Eastern cultures, it's completely flipped. Business is all about the relationship first. The deal is just what happens after you've built that connection.
Take China, for instance. There, you have this incredibly important concept of guanxi. It's this deep, trust-based network of relationships. It's about exchanging favors, not just for business, but as a real social and moral duty. Your network isn't just a nice-to-have, it's everything.
Then you hop over to Japan, and it's all about wa, which means harmony. This principle is huge. It emphasizes working together, building consensus, and making sure the group stays cohesive. It influences pretty much everything, from a small team meeting to a massive corporate decision.
But, okay, this isn't just some high-level philosophy stuff. This shows up in very real, very practical, and sometimes pretty surprising ways that people actually do business every day.
And this is where it gets really fun and fascinating. In the US, you hear time is money all the time, so being on time is a huge deal. But then you go to Spain and things are a bit more relaxed. Building a relationship might be more important than starting a meeting right on the dot. Then you get the really unique stuff, like sealing a deal in a sauna in Finland to build trust, or in South Korea, where the meeting might continue for hours over karaoke. It's a whole different world.
So, wow, with all these wild differences, how on earth are you supposed to navigate this global landscape without making a huge mistake or causing some major misunderstanding? Is there a secret to it?
Well, there is, and it's called cultural intelligence, or CQ for short. Now, this isn't about memorizing a textbook of customs for every country. It's a skill. It's the ability to relate to and work with people from different backgrounds because you're aware, you're curious, and you can adapt your own behavior.
And CQ isn't just one thing. It's kind of built on 4 key pillars. It starts with drive. You have to actually want to learn and adapt. That motivation pushes you to gain knowledge about different cultures. Once you have some knowledge, you can create a strategy for how to handle different situations. And all of that leads to the most important part, action, which is being able to actually change how you behave in the moment.
And that last part, action, is absolutely critical. Why? Well, get this. Research shows that up to a staggering 93% of all our communication is nonverbal. That means your body language, your tone of voice, your gestures, they're often screaming way louder than the words you're actually saying.
Now, the great news is you don't need to sign up for some intense course to start building your CQ. You can literally start today with really simple things. Be curious. Learn what holidays are important to your colleagues. Just ask them what their preferred communication style is. And in conversations, try to really listen and observe, not just wait for your turn to talk. These small things make a massive difference.
So at the end of the day, here's what it all boils down to. Whether you're building a culture inside your own company or trying to navigate different cultures around the world, this stuff isn't just a nice to have. It's a powerful, strategic asset that will drive innovation, help you attract the best people, and give you a real lasting edge on the competition.
And that really just leaves us with one last thing to think about. Whether you pay attention to it or not, your company's culture is shaping its future every single day. So the real question is, are you going to be intentional and shape your culture?